جمع عزیزی جمع عزیزی
Turkey is a country of layers, as civilizations such as the Byzantines, Seljuks, Romans, and Ottomans rose and fell. Each left a distinct, indelible mark on Turkish history and culture. This layering and cultural influence can also be seen with regards to religion. A secular country on paper, Turkey has nonetheless had many religious groups and currently has a large Muslim population. During my trip to Turkey, we visited many mosques and shrines in Istanbul to learn more about Sunni and Shia Islamic beliefs, including visiting a Jafari sect. When we went to Konya, we shifted our focus to Sufism and Islamic mysticism. Renowned for its universal themes of love and connection, Sufism is much more than the dervishes portrayed in the media. We started our visit at the tomb of Mevlana, known as Rumi in the Western world. Famous for his Sufi teachings, his tomb is now a pilgrimage site. Around the tomb was a small museum explaining how Sufi followers were trained in the time of Mevlana. A large emphasis was placed on self-discovery and pursuit of a universal connection. Sufism is also rich with symbolism. The ney, a type of flute, is a very important symbol. According to Sufi teachings, the ney cries because it has been ripped away from its mother, the reed, much like we have been ripped away from our parent, God. In addition to being a spiritual leader, Mevlana was also a poet. He actually wrote a poem called The Song of the Reed, about the ney. Hearken to this reed forlorn, breathing ever since 'twas torn from its rushy bed a strain of impassioned love and pain. The secret of my song, though near, none can see and none can hear. And for a friend to know the sign, and mingle all his soul with mine, 'tis the flame of love that fired me, 'tis the wine of love inspired me. Wouldst thou learn how lovers bleed? Hearken, hearken to the reed. In addition to Mevlana, we also studied the work of Nasir. In his works, Nasir discusses the concept of truth in Sufi mysticism. Mysticism is the obscure and intangible. Nasir discusses the concept of central truth and absolute reality. In his book, How Do We Reach the Garden of Truth?, Nasir questions how one can begin to experience truth through a relationship with God. One key concept of Sufism is to overcome the ego. In Sufism, the ego is a prison that separates oneself from God and is an obstacle in the path to ascend to heaven. To escape this prison, one must be willing to become a disciple. However, disciples need a master, but they also must have several basic qualities to even be a viable candidate. First, a potential disciple must be dissatisfied with his or her present state and realize the need to attempt perfection, to be one in God's image. The candidate must then have a yearning for God and also possess enough intelligence to realize that the world is transient, or not a version of reality or truth. Rather, they must be willing to pursue the truth that is God in Sufism. Sufism also has relevance to religious diversity, as it has interacted with other religions, including Christianity, Buddhism, and Hinduism throughout the years, as well as Chinese Taoism. While Sufism has not changed its central core practices, it does occasionally borrow elements from other religions to incorporate into its outward expression. Later in our trip, we met with a dervish. This dervish shared how, in his belief of Sufism, the root of Sufism is love for all people and all religions. He described love as a mirror in which we shall reflect God and our love for others. He also discussed how on the spiritual level, he doesn't believe there are any differences between one and another. The soul has no gender, he said. In one of our last nights in Konya, we saw a dervish performance. Though spinning dervishes are commonly associated with Sufism today, this is a recent development and more of a performance for tourists than a traditional part of the religion. However, it was still a beautiful performance. I'm very grateful to have had the opportunity to both explore Turkey and learn more about Sufism, which is often misunderstood in the West.
Ucap aziz